Quarantine Cup, iminungkahi ni Coach Richard Del Rosario. Paano na ang Philippine Cup, Commissioner's Cup at Governor's Cup? Pero bago natin pag-usapan yan, huwag kalimutang mag-like, comment at subscribe. At pakishare na rin ang video ko. Barangay Ginebra Assistant Coach Richard Del Rosario may iminungkahi kaugnay sa kung paano makapag-resume ang PBA season sa kabila ng pandemya. Ang Quarantine Cup, ito ang maaaring sagot para magpatuloy ang Naudlot na liga ng PBA. Pero dapat ay may health protocols na dapat ipatupad. Dapat din daw ay magkaroon ng rapid testing ang mga teams, ganun din ang mga media at broadcast personnels. Sa mga players na negative, sila ay maka-quarantine sa isang training camp. Sa mga positive naman sa virus, sila ay papadala sa isang medical facility. Ayon pa kay Coach Richard, ang mga laro ay gagawin lamang sa isang maliit na venue at walang fans ang hahayaang manood. Ito raw ay maaaring maging modelo ng ibang liga at malaking tulong sa mga ordinaryong manggagawa ng PBA.
The Board of Governors, Commissioner Willie Marshall, and all the PBA stakeholders, I hope this video finds you in good health and in good spirits. In this video, I will be presenting some ideas and proposals on how we can possibly conduct a PBA conference within the year. I understand that even if Metro Manila is put under general community quarantine, sporting events will still not be allowed. However, we are hoping and praying that after the GCQ is lifted, we will be given a window of opportunity wherein we can present to the government a blueprint on how sporting events such as the PBA can still push through, of course in compliance with government-mandated health protocols. Now I will proceed in presenting some of the general concepts of this proposal.
For this discussion, we shall call it the Quarantine Cup proposal for the 2020 PBA season. Under this proposal, the PBA can hold a compressed conference that would last for a maximum of 2 months. Before the start of the conference, there will be operational prerequisites for everybody that will be involved in this endeavor, such as the rapid testing. For individuals who will be found positive, they will be sent home or to the hospital for proper medical attention. All those that will yield a negative result will report to the team quarantine facility. While under team quarantine, members of a group will be housed together for 14 days. For the PBA teams, this is the time that they can hold their training camp. They can practice even twice a day, so that would be 28 practices in 14 days. The idea is that 1 month's worth of practice will be compressed in 2 weeks. Only individuals who will not show symptoms of COVID-19 after 14 days will be allowed to participate in the tournament. However, it is important to note that even after 14 days, members will not be allowed to go home. They can only go home after their teams have been eliminated. There will be strict travel and health guidelines. Per group, only one individual will be allowed to go out and purchase their basic necessities. The lodging will be shouldered by the team management. For the food, pwede pong mag-chip in ang mga miyembro ng grupo. For example, 500 pesos per day per individual, so that the burden of expense will not only fall on team management, since this is a shared endeavor. The quarantine facility should ideally be near the practice and game venue. One example would be the Azure Residences, since the condo units and the gymnasium are in one location. For the other teams, they should look for a lodging facility near their practice venues. The PBA and media personnel to be quarantined as well. We will be following the regular tournament format for this Quarantine Cup, wherein 12 teams will play a single round-robin elimination. The top 2 teams will gain a twice-to-beat advantage in the quarterfinals. The other quarterfinal series will be a best-of-3. The bottom 4 teams will be eliminated. The semifinals will be a best-of-5, and the finals will be a best-of-7. Under this compressed tournament format, it would be possible to finish the elimination round in 17 days. The only way to do it is we play every day, with 4 games played per day. Ibig po sabihin nito, may mga teams tayo na maglalaro ng back-to-back games or back-to-back-to-back games. Ganyan rin po ang nangyayari sa mga ibang teams sa NBA. They play back-to-back games with travel because teams are geographically located. Advantage po natin, since our clubs are not geographically separated, mas madali po sa atin ang maglaro ng back-to-back games. There will be 2 game venues per day since the government will not allow us to gather people or fans in venues such as Smart Araneta or Mall of Asia Arena. Possible venues here could be the Upper Deck Sports Center, Moro Lorenzo, Ronak Arts Center, Azur, or Hoops Gym, which entails a lower rental cost. All TV feed will be transmitted through a single remote media and broadcast center, which is the TV5 head office. Assuming that the government will only allow a skeletal workforce for the PBA to operate, indicated herein is the suggested minimum manpower required to be present per game. For teams, 12 players out of the 15-player lineup will be allowed to play and be present in the venue. Remember that teams will be playing back-to-back games or even 3 straight games. This would allow coaches to rotate players and manage wear and tear. Only 1 head coach and 1 assistant coach per team, 1 PT, and of course the team manager. There will be 3 game officials or referees. There will be 2 PBA officials to oversee the games. There will be 3 table officials to handle the stats and game or shot clock. 4 TV crew to handle 3 fixed camera setup and cable. The OB van crew will be outside the venue, and there will be 2 government representatives from the GAB or DOH. I took the liberty of creating a mock schedule to give you an idea on the compressed format. Games scheduled for 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. will be played in Venue 1. Games scheduled for 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. will be played in Venue 2. This will give time for game venues to be disinfected properly in between games. The game times are scheduled as such, assuming that stay-at-home guidelines are still in place, which means that we have the audience to watch our games at those times. The following graphic would show the mock team schedule per team in a compressed 17-day elimination schedule. Of course, this is subject to correction by the PBA staff. Notice that although teams will play back-to-back, there are also off days within those 17 days. For TV and print media, there will be a 3 fixed camera setup allowed per game venue. TV5 will set up a broadcast and replay center in their home studio, similar to what they did during the Southeast Asian Games. Commentators will call the games live and off-tube from the media center. The PBA press corps will be allowed to cover from the broadcast center, where post-match interviews will be remotely conducted. For added value and marketing opportunity for this compressed conference, select media can be planted and quarantined with each team to provide behind-the-scenes stories. The output will be a documentary and daily coverage online and in traditional media. This is inspired by the Kwentong Gilas and Last Dance documentaries that have attracted public interest. PBA can benefit by monetizing the material. How will the PBA benefit from this endeavor? Number 1, the PBA will be a pioneer in returning professional sports during these extraordinary times. The PBA will be providing a model that other leagues around the world can follow, which would merit worldwide attention and unmatched value to the league. More importantly, the resumption of the league will mean jobs to the daily wage earners who depend on the PBA. We will also fulfill our social responsibility by encouraging people to stay home and watch live sports. This could be the unprecedented legacy of the Board of Governors as the leaders of the PBA for finding a creative way to save the season.
And joining us now live on 2OT is the man with the plan, or magawin natin, the man with the proposal, Coach Richard Del Rosario ng Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. Thank you, Coach, for pinaunlakan mo kami ngayong gabi.
Ay, thank you rin for inviting me over to you. Sinasabi ko lang naman, this is one way that we can do it. And because, I mean, in the PBA, we're family. And, you know, sama-sama tayo dito eh. Sama-sama tayo sa problema, sama-sama tayo. We're all affected, whatever happens to the league. Of course, we're hoping that things will get better. It will be as close to normal as possible. Na may fans, di ba? Na hopefully by yun nga, October, maka-resume tayo with fans and with lesser risk. But, you know, kung hindi mangyari yun, I think it's just proper that, you know, may mga contingencies lang na maibabato tayo, masasuggest. I think everybody, kahit kayo, I mean, you can suggest ideas and I'm sure the PBA will welcome all your ideas as well. You know, right now, we're not allowed even under GCQ. But after the GCQ has been lifted, kunyari, naging modified GCQ na, or hopefully even better, na wala na tayong restrictions, we can still leave our guard down na biglang okay na, manood na lang lahat, wala na social distancing. Then we still have to be very careful on how we could get the league started. And, you know, not only safety for the fans, but most especially safety for the players because yung risk na sa kanila yung pinakamataas na risk because they're the ones playing and it's going to be in contact with each other. And that's why yung quarantine facility was included para lang we can control certain situations because well, the idea is, you know, even if everybody gets tested tapos mag-uwian, diba? Parang back to zero. Maraming loose variables. We don't have the technology yet, like for example, a COVID app tracer wherein, you know, sa mga cellphones natin that we can trace kung saan nagpupunta bawat isa after games, right? So, I mean, that's just the idea, just to ensure the safety of the players involved because on the bench, we can do social distancing, we can wear masks, the audience can do social distancing, 2-seat separation, diba? But yung players, ang pinakadelikado.
To begin with, nandun din sa 9-minute proposal mo na smaller venues, which means wala mo nang fans in attendance, diba? Everybody has to watch through TV or streaming. Sasandal ka talaga. Just to begin with, hindi pa to yung next season. Ito yung para matuloy lang itong season na to yung proposal. No fans mo.
Yeah, no fans. As long as, once we are allowed. Yun naman ang crucial. I mean, this is all mute and academic pagka, pag hindi tayo inallow ng government. So I think, pag pinayagan na tayo, another concept behind that proposal was para to save costs for the league. Kasi nga walang kinikita ngayon, di ba? So, I mean, it's going to be more cost-effective kung mga training venues lang. Total, wala namang fans that would be allowed eh. So, doon na lang tayo sa smaller venues para hindi ganun kamahal yung rental cost. And at the same time, ang idea ko for 2 venues, like for example, first game will be 1 o'clock on venue 1, second game will be 3 o'clock on venue 2, and then yung third game na 5 o'clock sa venue 1, that gives you a 4-hour window to disinfect that particular venue. And it allows the teams that have just played to go out and to go back to their quarantine facility, for example, and bago papasok yung next 2 teams na maglalaro.
Hindi magkakasalubong.
So, mo lagi yung mga tao na doon. Yes, hindi sila magsasalubong. Hindi sila magsasalubong doon. So, meron talagang time na hindi nagmamadali para ma-sanitize yung playing area.
Pati locker room and everything, di ba?
Oh yeah, definitely lahat. And then, of course, mas maganda doon, you're going to go there na naka-uniform na. Okay? If you can, na hindi nyo nagagamitan yung mga locker rooms, di ba? Naka-uniform na kayo, di ba? Tapos lahat na, meron mga, kung ano man yung protocols na kailangan na i-put place para medyo to ensure the safety. Although, kahit naman ano sigurong gawin natin, I mean, there's nothing that's 100% effective, di ba? So, but at least we will try to minimize yung mga risks at
at the most that we can, and that's why in the second video that I presented, may kasama rin doon mga medical opinions from different doctors that could help the PBA also decide, because I understand they're already making guidelines for in preparation for the resumption of play, and kaya ako lang naman present rin yun is para yun magkaroon din sila ng mga ideas to think about as they're preparing for those guidelines.
No, Coach Richard, right now, it's all about collecting the best practices na pwede nating pulutin sa iba-ibang sports leagues na gumagawa ng events right now. One of which is the UFC. We saw how careful they were in staging their events, pero nalusutan pa rin sila. May nag-positive na isang fighter and a couple of his team members. Luckily, walang nahawa dun sa mga ibang parts ng UFC. And then you're also suggesting that this become a very compressed schedule na may mga back-to-back games, may mga back-to-back games. How much was it about limiting yung opportunity for the players to be apart from their families? Was this your what you took into consideration?
Yes, and I think it's very important na pag bumalik si Magu para
seryoso ng usapan, nahulog mo ay.
Sorry.
Paganda
Okay, yung compressed schedule kasi, the idea behind that is that I think because we have this pandemic, the shorter we can complete a conference, the better. Kasi at least the longer it would take for you to hold the conference, the bigger the risk. So right now, mas maganda, mas maikse, mas maganda. Okay, if you can get it done in 2 months, mas okay. Plus, syempre, yung time away from family, I think those are the biggest issues. Number one is really yung quarantine facilities, because of course, it would entail costs to the teams, to the PBA, for housing teams in 2 months, diba? Ang daming kailangan i-consider dyan. And then, of course, time away from family. But, my point is, sa akin lang naman, para ka lang kumbaga OFW na nag-abroad to try and earn for your family for 2 months. Kasi ngayon, we're all spending time with our families. And it's uncertain up to when kakayanin ng mga teams or ng PBA to sustain the expenses being incurred right now in paying payroll, salaries, diba? So ano ba tayo? Magsama-sama tayo for 1 year na wala akong trabaho, or mag-sacrifice tayo ng 2 months? Mag-a-abroad muna ako, magka-quarantine lang ako para magtrabaho, para at least okay tayo, diba? So yun lang naman. I think whatever we do, there has to be sacrifices that has to be made. Dahil na, diba, biglaan to eh. And we can't have the best of both worlds. So it's a sacrifice. Everybody has to make sacrifices. But of course, the priority pa rin is keeping everybody safe. And that's the idea behind the quarantine as well.
Richard, maraming salamat for your time.
Thank you very much, Harlo and Magu.
And that is
comment nyo dito, comment nyo sa YouTube ni Coach Chard para makita natin ang idea na lahat. Okay?
Yep. And bukas, Magu, may episode tayo kasama natin, mga batikang writers, sports writers. So yung mga batang writers dyan from the schools, writing for your school papers, kung gusto nyong matuto ng tips in the trade and on how to make it into the industry, how to write better, please join us. That will be on air at 5 p.m. So for Magumar John and Coach Richard Del Rosario, ako po si Carlo Pamintuan. Thank you for watching 2OT.